Okay, let's get into some updated news about the Sega Mini 2 edition, basically.
Yes.
And
Oh, I'm excited.
we finally got a US release. Jaron, I'm gonna leave this to you because you are a bigger Sega fan than me, and especially particularly two games that we hope that are gonna get announced over here after just hearing what's gonna be announced in Japan. I'll let you take over.
Two or three games, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
First off, Sega Mini 2, officially announced coming to the US October 27th. That's going to be the same day or same weekend as some of the RPG games we mentioned. So, like I said, October's going to be packed. Retail for about $103. So pre-order through Amazon only, Amazon exclusive, and so that covers that. The games that are coming out for it. So Sega of Japan announced some additional games coming for the Sega Mini 2, and to refresh everyone's memory, it's coming with additional Sega Genesis games, but it's also including Sega CD or Mega CD, depending on where you're from. And they already announced a few Mega CD games like Shining in the Darkness for the Sega CD. But what got my attention today, and I tagged Jeremy in Twitter, Lunar and Lunar 2 are going to be guaranteed on the Japanese Sega Mini 2. I hope, because there were U.S. releases, they also bring it over to the U.S. because that would be...
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, Final Fight CD,
Mm-hmm.
which was... That was up until, I played more Streets of Rage. That was one of my favorite brawlers, specifically Final Fight CD. That has all three characters, the two players simultaneous, and it's not nearly as censored.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the definitive way to play Final Fight in the West. Yeah, those three titles. There were some other titles, but those three got me hyped.
Those are,
bouncing.
I think, based on our last video when we talked about it, I think those were the three most important games that you personally wanted off the list that we hope made the cut, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you got what you got out of it, right?
They were no brainers, really.
True. But Lunar is such a easily forgot, not a forgettable game as the story and everything. Forgettable for a lot of people. They're like, oh yeah, because Lunar got dropped off after the terrible release of the DS one, Dragon Song. After that one, you never heard it ever again.
Nope.
And that sucks.
It's so horrible.
Because Lunar could have gone further. Like, Lunar, I think, deserved to be a series, but it just never got a chance to because, it just had a bad entry in that game. And I guess that's when they got sold off, all that crap.
Yeah.
So it just never worked out. So for people that don't know, people probably are more familiar with Lunar on the PS1.
Yeah. Silver Star Story Complete.
Yeah, and Eternal Blue. And probably forgot that the origin were actually on the CD. And if you go look it up, it looks night and day.
Oh, very much so. The music is even different. I mean, the music's still great on Sega CD, but the music is night and day as well.
You even told me, and I didn't know this, that the CD actually slightly goes on a different path structure of the story than the PS1 and the PS2s. I mean, not PS1. I mean, PS1, that is 1 and Eternal Blue. They kind of go a different structure.
Yeah, different. Certain events happen in a different order. Certain events don't even happen at all. As a quick example, in the PS1 and PSP versions, Luna continues with your party when you go across the sea. In the Sega CD version, she's done. You don't see her again until near the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And the storyline, certain characters aren't even introduced in the Sega CD version. They're not there at all, which I understand why they changed it up, but it is a different game. Even if you have Lunar on the PS1, play the Sega CD version.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
And as I told you in a previous show, Lunar was the first RPG I played and beat.
Okay,
and
that's right.
It's one of the things you never forget your first.
And the fact that we talked about, if this happens in the U.S., you will literally, in some sort of way, own every copy of Lunar.
Yeah, unintentional. I wasn't trying to go for that, but
it just happens.
Yes, yeah. It just happened. They just floated into my hands, or you sold me one.
Yeah, because finding those physicals are way more too expensive, and I think it would be just a huge kick in the nuts for people that've been wanting those games to resurface in some shape or form, because there are probably a lot of rare people, or for probably a lot of people hidden in the woodworks that have played those games and that was their first time, like you, that want to get their hands on it, just to play that edition of it, right? And so I never even played those 2 editions. So I'm kind of curious at how they do it. I know it's going to probably be more grindy, but if they do the special features of like, save anywhere or rewind features and stuff, it might be an actual like better, experience for me.
I hope so. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I have no illusions. The Sega CD version of Lunar 1, at least, I never played the Sega CD version of 2. It had sections where if you weren't at a certain level with a certain skill unlocked, you're not getting through it. Now, we're in the age of speed runners and no damage runners and everything like that, so I'm sure someone will prove me wrong. But when I played it, I got my ass handed to me in the Cave of Trials until I leveled my character up like 3 or 4 more levels, and then I was able to go through it.
That's the thing, too, I forgot about Lunar to people. This is a hardcore RPG to me because this game does not hold your hand.
Nope.
Yeah, they kick you. They kick you like if you get knocked down, they'll keep kicking you. So learn, get better. And I think for a lot of people, weirdly enough, this almost feels like just a Lunar episode. I feel like
I'm not against that.
I feel like Lunar is a game where like if you can handle Lunar, I don't think you have to beat it. But if you can handle it, then you can almost play any RPG game because Lunar really kind of teaches you not so much of the battle system of like how do you go at it. Like for example, for me, I guess maybe Lunar, I could say this did teach me, and maybe not. I'm not 100% sure, but I would think Lunar did teach me of learning of who to go after first and who to go last, right? Because any RPG person knows that you will go after like a healer first before anything else. But Lunar has so many weird creatures that you have to learn the habit of these creatures and pick which one is first.
Yes, and you're going to fight them so many times. You'll pick up on what's what, like which one's dangerous. Like, oh, that one's going to disable this person. I need to take him out first.
Yeah, and each battle system, or each battle can feel very long. Very long.
Yeah. Especially in the early levels, if you haven't optimized your party. I mean, it's one of those games that I always wanted my party to be at least 4 to 5 people, and this is a game where you get up to 5 people in your party.
Okay.
That's why Final Fantasy VII was such a shock to me, because it's like 3 people. What the hell? But yeah, Lunar, you're up to 5 people in your party, but for the longest time, you have at most 3 people.
So my important question to ask you is, worst case scenario, I believe Final Fight will make it across. I think that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
If you don't get Lunar in the US edition, would this be a cancel purchase for you?
Oh man. It would either be a cancel purchase or a screw it, I'll import the Japanese one.
Okay.
And I mean, what I could stand to brush up on my Japanese anyway. Screw it. Why not?
I am not a purchase. I would buy it at a cheaper price. The 103 is with the Lunars with me personally, because I think those are the golden treasures. Those other games, they're good, but I'll be okay. But the Lunars is the rarest ones, right? That's just
what's announced so far too. Some more stuff could come through.
Yeah, because like, don't get me wrong, I don't know if the other big important game that's on there, the action RPG style of with the girl with the sword, it's one of the most expensive games on the CD. Exactly what I'm talking about. It's gonna drive me nuts.
I know it's making me anxious too.
Let me see here.
Because I know you were wanting Time Gal.
I wanted Time Gal. Like you said, anything is possible. But it's not the end of the world per se, because like the PlayStation edition of it. But
and they did announce Truxton which or Tatsujin in Japan. If they come in over here, bring it over here as Truxton. That is a very good shoot 'em up game. Definitely a must play.
Okay.
So I didn't want to leave that out, but yeah. Now I'm wondering.
I thought it was called Time something, but I could be wrong. I just remember
I only know about Time Gal.
No. See, it's not Time Gal then. Because the reason why I brought this up is because it was kind of like a Metroidvania style, but it's like an RPG kind of style, and you're the girl on there.
No, I'm only thinking of Valis, but that wasn't on the Sega CD, or at least not in America.
So.
I will say, people, if you know, put it down below. And I did that rhyme on purpose, I swear.
See, I even have the picture of the girl character right here. I'm trying to figure out what the hell the name of the game is.
Oh, I was gonna say show that to me or send that to me, but maybe unless you do a Google reverse lookup.
Well, I'm looking at the list right now, and it'll probably pop up right as I said that. Puffle Mel, that's what it is. Puffle Mel, yeah.
If there was a snake, it would have bit me.
Puffle Mel, like
yes.
Maybe Puffle Mel might be worth it for that.
If nothing else, Puffle Mel.
But Puffle Mel and the Lunars and hell, give me Vey. I heard Vey was a very weird RPG game. I will try that one too. Like mostly if you give me a good real bust CD RPG games for better for worse or what they are, that might change my mind. But Lunars the bangers that we want because Lunar doesn't get released a lot. So I would go for those. Because it's better to pay $103 for those two games only for me than paying like $200 or $300 for them.
Now,
and I don't own a CD. So.
It's 103. It's 103, and then it's all the versions of the console are shipping from Japan, so you're paying an additional $22 in shipping.
Okay.
But yeah, you're right. Having 103, 120, whatever dollars for those games is a lot better than getting a Sega Genesis, then finding a Sega CD that works.
Yeah.
And then finding those games, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, well, I mean, it's going to be a while for it's out, so there's plenty of time for a full list to come out. Hopefully there might be another video that will give everything on this list, or somebody will manage to get a list set up for everybody to say. But here's crossing my fingers for Lunar to definitely be confirmed for the U.S. edition. I don't see why not. Like you said, it's already been localized. It should not be that difficult to put it over there with no problem.
Yeah, and they still haven't even announced half. They're saying over 50, so they haven't even announced.
Yeah, because I haven't counted how many Sega Genesis games yet on that list. So,
and here's the kicker: the games really aren't that impressive. Everybody's paying attention to the Mega CD game.
Yeah, that's mainly. They could have done the Mega CD by itself, and they probably sold bangers.
Well, yeah, but then it also probably would have been like $150 device because licensing.
People would drop it. They would. They would because it's the best purchase for a CD than anything else.
If they put all of the must-own Sega CD games on there and brought it over here, well, yeah, hell yeah, you drop it too. You'd be like,
yeah, for Lunar. Yeah, for Lunar. Yeah.